Hey everybody, how are you doing today? Hope everybody can hear me all right. Just let me know in the chat if there's any issues technically. Hopefully everybody can hear me okay right now. Thanks everybody for being here for 60,000 subscribers. A little nervous. Haven't done this for a while. Usually I've got everything written down and I'm reading a short story to you guys, and today I just I'm winging it a little bit. I've got a bit of a point form thing of things I want to talk about, but mostly I want to hear from you guys, kind of hear what questions you have. If you have any questions for me, let me know. Let me know in the comments, in the chat. I'll be looking at the chat as well as the comments. So thanks everybody for being here. I have a big announcement I want to share with you a little bit later on. Some people in the Patreon Discord let me know they already saw the little sneak preview of the trailer I dropped yesterday. But I'm going to be sharing that in a little bit here. And basically what it is I'm going to be starting up a new YouTube channel where I'll be talking with creepypasta authors. So all your favorite authors who've been featured on the channel, I'm going to be kind of chatting with them and just finding out more about their writing process, what inspires them, things like that. So if you guys ever wondered about the blue sunflowers in Saturday's stories, I chatted with him a little bit about that. You know what? I'm just going to share the trailer with you guys right now so you see what I'm talking about. The new channel is going to be called The Grupe Project. So I hope you all will subscribe and check it out. And if you want to search for that, it'll be at The Grupe Project, or just check the description below. So hang on just a second. I'll be sharing the trailer with you guys here. Have you ever wondered about the ones behind the words?
In universe, the sunflowers are there are several layers to it, but basically they are harbingers of things to come. They promise that something bad is coming.
I can't remember what name I gave to it, but it was a story about this kind of nefarious guy making job postings online named Mr. Deacon.
Have you ever wondered where the ideas come from and where they're going next?
Yeah, actually John had written it a whole treatment. I think they had been thinking about pitching that as a film, but then when they read my story, I think at that point they decided to bring me on to write a short story and pitch it that way.
Introducing a new podcast and YouTube channel for true horror and creepypasta fans who want to go a little deeper and learn a little bit more about the voices behind their favorite stories.
And we just hear a roar, like this tremendous roar, and we see the trees starting to bend. And my mom just kisses me on the cheek, puts me on a little snowmobile, and just says, "Run!" And she pushes me down the hill.
Welcome to The Grupe Project, coming May 16th at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on a brand new dedicated channel. Check out the description below for more details. If you ever write another one of those, please let me know, because I will definitely narrate it for you.
I've been thinking about it, but it's so hard to come back to, okay, we saved the end of the world or the end of reality, so what are you gonna do next?
All right, hopefully you guys like that little trailer I put together. Yeah, the new channel is called The Grupe Project, so check the description below, or just type in @The Grupe Project in the search bar, and you should be able to find it that way. So next Friday, what I'll be starting to do is I'll be releasing a story from each author, and then following the story on the main feed, I'll be releasing a interview with the author on this second channel called The Grupe Project. So hopefully you guys all check that out. Should be more information about that coming in the days to come. But basically, all you need to know is next Friday. Probably going to do it 5 p.m. Or 4:30. Haven't quite decided yet, but after the story on the main channel, we'll have an interview with the author. And I've already got 4 of these done, and then we also did one where I talked with Ryan Major, G-Trip14, and he actually interviewed me for the 5th episode. So if you guys have questions about Hollow's End, about any of my writing, you can also drop comments and chat in the live chat on that new channel, and I'll try to answer additional questions as everything's premiering. Starting to get some questions coming in, so I'm going to go through some questions. If you guys have additional questions, please drop them in the chat. Happy to answer them for you. Alright, so thanks everybody wishing congratulations on the 60,000 subscribers. I really appreciate that. It's been slowing down a little bit lately, so I appreciate everybody who shares the channel. And everybody who likes, comments. It really does help it a lot. A few shoutouts. Mark from Earth, one of the very first Patreon, if not the first Patreon. Thanks for being a part of the Patreon. Puppy Dan, No Name. I don't want to leave anybody out, so I inevitably I'm gonna miss people. But Squishy, Michael Squishy Park, I want to thank you for helping with music for the channel. He submitted a couple songs for me to do his background music on the channel. Keith Blunt, Kimberly Shepard, Diane Showers, Windy Burns. All these people have been watching the channel from the very start, so I really appreciate all you guys who watch the channel, and it really does mean a lot to me when I see the same names and the same faces popping up in the chat and the comments. It really does mean a lot, and it gives me a boost every time I see you guys there. Evelyn Wade, Scrappy Doo, Mamakato, Harry Grimley, Dante Kincaid. So many people, so many of you guys comment and chat so regularly, and I really appreciate all you guys. I'd spend the whole video here giving shout-outs if I did that the whole time, so I'll leave it at that, but I appreciate all you guys who watch the channel. And I'm just looking for some questions here. Like more Hollow's End stories. I do have 2 more Hollow's End stories that are currently in progress. So those should be coming out fairly soon. I don't have an ETA on those just yet. Thanks everybody for everybody who's become a member, has joined the Patreon. Can we get more Charlie's Department Store and Hollow's End crossovers? So yeah, that was really cool. The author of the Charlie's Department Store series, Ashley Watson, reached out to me and asked if she could do a crossover, and I said yes, please go ahead. I felt like kind of the same way a lot of people had commented, saying these 2 universes seem very compatible. They seem almost like they're part of the same universe. So I said, yeah, of course, that's fine by me. If you want to write something, one of your characters coming to Hollow's End, that sounds cool. So we kind of collaborated a little bit on it. She wrote the whole thing, obviously, but she did ask me a few questions just to make sure that everything matched with the lore and with the kind of the rules of that universe. So that was really nice of her to do that, and I really enjoyed her story. I think she represented Randy really, really well. I think she nailed it, and I love doing the Randy voice. So any excuse I have to do the Randy voice, I'm always happy. Who are some of your favorite creepypasta writers? I've got a bunch. A lot of the ones on the channel have been some of my favorite writers. I'll name a few just off the top of my head. G-Trip14, who's going to be the first interview on the new channel, on the Grupe project. He's Ryan Major. He has a book out as well called I've done this before. I've been here before, through Velox Books, and I've done a bunch of his stories on the channel. He's one of my favorite writers. He did the She Came to Me Blanketed in the Stars and the Fire Tower 1 series, a bunch of other stuff. Saturday, I've really been enjoying Saturday's work recently. His writing seems to get better and better and better. I really enjoy the ongoing universe that he has there, and kind of how things have been building up. It was really nice talking with him and getting a bit of his perspective on that as well. I have so many favorite writers: Renee Ren, Grand Theft Auto, who's Travis Brown, his real name. He's got books out as well. Bifle's Disciple, a bunch of them. All of these people have been on the channel before, so I have playlists for all of them as well. A lot of the stories that have been on the channel have been some of my favorite writers. A Hawaiian Shirt, yeah. I'm obviously going to be leaving people out again here, but move on to the next question here. Love the Blue Sunflowers and the Silver King. Yeah, Silver King is a great series. That's the same author who's been doing the Retired Monster Hunter series. As username is 02321 on Reddit. And that's another one that I really enjoy reading his stories. He's got a ton of really cool characters. And yeah, his characters I find are my favorite part of that series and of his universe. He's just got very, very cool, very robust characters. Puppy Dan, where do you get your inspiration for Randy? That's a really good question. I feel like Randy is kind of it's a lot of different things from pop culture and from TV shows I've watched. He's kind of an amalgamation of different characters. I feel like I was partially inspired by Gas Station Jack, the narration of his Bedside Manor story on Creepy Podcast. The voice actor, I can't remember his name, but the gentleman who did Gas Station Jack's friend in that, who I'm blanking on the name right now, but his best friend in that, if anybody remembers the name, tell me. Yeah, or I think it's John. Maybe it's John. So that's partly where the inspiration came from. But it's kind of an amalgamation of different things, and just kind of came out of my head a little bit as well. Thanks for the super chats, Evan. Appreciate that. Love your content, man. I really appreciate that. Wolf, your name's getting cut off here. Let's see. Wolfthorn, thank you for sending a membership. Appreciate that. And Paul Stefani, $20. Wow, thank you. I really appreciate the super chat. One of these days, I'll write a story you'll narrate. I appreciate that. Yeah. I see a couple people commenting if they want to submit stories, where can they do that? So I do have a email address you can find on the channel in the About section. The best way to probably do it, though, is through my subreddit on Reddit, which is called Jordan Group Horror. So if you go to Reddit and you go to the subreddit r/Jordan Group Horror, you can submit a story there. And I'll always ask your permission first before reading on the story. I never read anything without express permission from the authors. And just looking to see a couple more questions here. D.D. Wickman, yeah, that's Saturday. Good catch, Mark. Anything new? So Chattanooga Ed, anything new coming up with the White King? I'm assuming you're talking about the Silver King. Again, that's 02321's universe. So I can't say for sure, but I believe there will be more Silver King. He's kind of a fixture in that universe, and I believe everything 02321 writes is happening within that universe. So even in the Retired Monster Hunter series, I believe he's kind of referred to a couple times in that. So yeah, he's definitely in the background if he's not in the forefront. Angelique Dirksen, hi, why is your book not on Play Store? Yeah, all my stuff is on Amazon. I haven't done much with with Apple. I don't have iPhone or any Apple stuff, so maybe it's just a bit of a blind spot for me. I should probably do that a bit more. A couple people have mentioned getting my podcast on Apple as well, which I have not done yet. There was a imposter podcast for a while who had my logo and my channel name and everything, and they were actually impersonating me and just uploading audio from my channel. So I did report them, and I don't believe it's up anymore. But if you want to listen to me just on podcast form, my channel is available on Spotify, so you can find me on there. And as I find time, I'll hopefully be branching out to more platforms as well. Thank you, Mark from Earth, for the super chat. Really appreciate that. Mark, congrats on 60,000, Jordan. More Jay the delivery guy, please, with winky face. Absolutely. I'll drop this here for the first time. The next Hollow's End series, or the next Hollow's End long story in the continuing storyline, will be from the point of view of Jay the delivery man, Jay the monster delivery man. So you guys are hearing that first here now, and I'll tell you the title. I'm tinkering with a little bit, but I think the title is going to be Hollow's End, Deliver Us from Evil, which I enjoy probably a little bit too much, the wordplay there. But that's just me. I like puns too much. Let's see. Just scrolling back up here to see some more questions. Hopefully I don't miss any of your guys' questions. I'm going to try to go through them all in order. So if I do miss one of your questions, you can drop it again. I turned slow mode's not on for this, so you guys can just comment away. Let's see. Okay, here we go. Carmen Waldron, how absolutely proud are you to have your incredible stories reach so many? I'm scared to release any stories on Reddit. How do I get past that? How do I get past the imposter syndrome? Congrats. Great question. So yeah, I was a little bit scared first time posting on Reddit. You're putting it out there for everybody in the world to see. But I've always liked when people read my writing. In the past, I've kind of gotten a boost from writing things and having people read them and say like, "Oh, hey, this is good. You should finish this." So, it's very personal. I mean, not everybody wants to post their stories on Reddit. But what I would say is if you really like your story, you think it's good, you think it's scary, go post it on Reddit No Sleep or on the Cryptic Compendium, which is a subreddit that I moderate as well. Or on my subreddit, Jordan Group Horror. And yeah, you'll get some people reading it. You'll get some people commenting on it saying, maybe fix this, or this is great. Maybe they'll just love it. They won't say anything bad about it. But you have to be open to the criticism as well, because it is the internet. Unfortunately, you're gonna get critics, even if you don't want them. Imposter syndrome, I definitely feel that sometimes. That's a tricky one, but I think just fake it till you make it. I know it's a cliche, but we're all just faking it till we make it. So yeah, I know it's cliche advice, but just do it. Just go for it. If you're scared of posting on Reddit at first, maybe share it with a couple friends first. See what they say. It might give you that boost, that encouragement that you need to post it online and for everybody to see. Alanawata, sorry if I'm mispronouncing anybody's names here. Will there be an interview with the author of the Silver King universe, please? I would love to. I do chat with them through Discord, so it's possible, but some people don't necessarily want their voice on the internet, especially if they're worried about privacy and things like that. So there will be definitely more interviews with additional authors, but I can't promise the Silver King author. But we'll see. Maybe with a voice modulator or something like that. Let's see. Who are some of your favorite writers, storytellers that have inspired you? That's a great question. So Stephen King really got me into horror. I know a lot of people get into horror through Stephen King. He's definitely the guy who got me into it. I think the first Stephen King book I ever read was the Peter Straub Stephen King book Black House, which got me hooked. After that, I started reading Insomnia, started reading all of his other stuff, and yeah, Stephen King really got me into horror. Other writers, storytellers, as I mentioned, all those various people from Reddit have been huge inspirations for me. Jason Pargin, the author of the John Dies at the End series, huge inspiration. More recently, I just started getting into his books in the last year or so. But when I read his stuff, it really reminds me of Hollow's End and of the sort of stories that I really like to write. I read a lot of different authors. But yeah, those are kind of the main ones. I loved Hunter S. Thompson, Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. That's one of my favorite books of all time. Michael Chabon. I enjoy a lot of different authors. I'm just gonna take a look at this couple more super chats here. Thank you guys. Whoa, Paul Stefani, $100. Wow, thank you so much. That's extremely generous. I really appreciate that. Wow, that's mind-boggling. That's mind-blowing. Thank you so much. How do you get? So Paul Stefani asked, how do you get over your writer's block? I've been stuck in developmental hell for the last 2 years, and it's a problem. Oh, that's a tough one. What I always tell people is, if you're writing something, write the next scene in your head when you're doing dishes, or when you're doing a chore, when you're driving. So think about that part you're stuck at, and try to think of that next scene. So don't sit in front of the computer and do this. Do this when your mind is kind of focused on something else. Like if you're driving, you're doing dishes, you're doing chores, just think in your head, start writing in your head that next scene. For me, that really helps. I know writer's block is a very personal thing. It can be really tough. I've definitely experienced it myself. Reading the stuff that you like to write, I find helps a lot. You get inspired. I find I get inspired when I read other people's work, especially if it's in the same genre as me. I'll just be reading, and then all of a sudden, boom, I get an idea for my own story. And it's not necessarily at all related to what I'm reading, but it's just something about it kind of unlocks that part of your brain. So you're not focusing on the task of brainstorming, of writing. You're just focusing on reading this other story, and then in the back of your mind, it kind of, something will click. So those are my go-to ways to kind of get over writer's block. But yeah, it's a tough one. Writer's block is tricky for sure. Squishy. Okay, Jordan, painting a dragon. What colors do you want? Purple and green are probably my favorite two colors. I loved Donatello, the Ninja Turtle, as a kid, so go figure. William Hobbs. I'm interested to see more of this dragon squishy, so I hope you'll share that on the Discord. Are we going to hear more of the Silver King from William Hobbs? Yes. As I said before, there's Silver King keeps popping up in the background of a lot of these stories by 02321. So I believe you will be seeing/hearing more about him, but I can't 100% confirm because I'm not the author of that series. So I'm just kind of going based on what I've seen in their writing. Kimberly Shepard, thanks so much for being a member, Kimberly, and for commenting, for watching. So many people here looks really familiar from comments and from chats, and I every time I see you guys' names, it puts a smile on my face. It really does. So Kimberly Shepard asked, will there be a Hollow's End book series? Yes. My plan is to probably do the Monkey Paw series as one book, and then do the current series, season 2, I'm calling it, as a second book. I don't have an ETA on that just yet. but hopefully I'll have some more information about that in the near future. Douglas McGavin, will there be more Charlies? So that one, again, I'm not the author of that one, but Charlies, the author has written a sequel to that book. So if you haven't seen, there's yes, Crimson Muse, I believe the very first, it was either Mark or Crimson Muse were the very first Patreon members. So for those of you who remember the very first Hollow's End series that featured the two of them, they were the very first two Patreon members. So thank you both, you guys. Let's see. Robert Riddle asks, do you foresee a Silver King / Hollow's End crossover soon? Probably not. That one, I don't foresee a crossover for that. I've chatted with the author about it a little bit, and their perspective is and I agree with them to some extent, the rules of the different universes don't necessarily mesh, because in the Silver King universe, the Silver King is kind of the boss of all the monsters. It's a little bit too different, I think. As much as I would like a Silver King Hollow's End crossover, and you never know. I mean, it's anything's possible, but that one is probably a little bit less likely, to be honest. But I do love the Silver King universe, and I hope to be able to read more of those stories. And I've really been enjoying the Retired Monster Hunter series. Okay. Just gonna look at a couple more super chats here. Crystal, $20. Thank you so much, Crystal. That's hugely appreciated. I really appreciate all you guys support, all you guys for being here and watching the live stream. Just trying to find my way back to the questions here. There we go. Okay, Susie Broken Angels asks, when's the next Monster Hunter story? That last ending is killing me. I'm assuming you mean the Retired Monster Hunter. So I believe next week I'll have another installment of that, and I think we're about halfway through currently of the series. It's a pretty long series. I think there's 30-ish parts, something like that. So I think we're about at the halfway point right now. But I'm really enjoying that series as well. Issa Hemlock, hello from Nova Scotia. Thank you. Hey from Ontario. Your stories are amazing, Jamie Ruiz. Thank you. Igor Celtic. Hey Jordan, how are you, my friend? I'm doing well, thanks. No Name says, do the Randy voice. Okay, I'll read the next question in the Randy voice. Connie asks, where do you come up with some of your ideas? Ideas, I come up with a lot of my ideas through conversation, just kind of reading, watching TV. It's kind of hard to say where exactly I get my inspiration, where my ideas come from. But yeah, a lot of my ideas kind of, I'll be thinking of something that I want to write about, like a location or a profession, and I just start with the idea and then I just start writing. I don't outline anything. Yeah, I kind of just wing it. That's a bad way to say it, but yeah, Stephen King apparently has the same process. If you read his book on writing, he literally just sits down and starts writing. A couple more super chats here. I think I mentioned Crystal, $20. Thank you so much. Andrew Hodge, thanks for becoming a member. John Morgan, $5 super chat. Thank you so much. Any news on Hollow's End t-shirts and merch? No additional news on that just yet. But I do have an account set up on a merch website, and I just need to get a couple more designs. They require 5 designs, so I gotta come. I'm kind of doing everything myself here, so it's, you know, trying to find time to do all this stuff is tricky. But I would like to get a few more designs sent in there, and then hopefully I can start opening up a merch store on the YouTube channel so that you guys can buy some Hollows End stuff. DeBoss 1238, $10 super chat. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. And Canna Kitty, thanks for becoming a member. Appreciate that. All right, just gonna go find some more questions here. So Douglas W. McGavin, would you ever consider making a Hollows End movie? I would love a Hollows End movie or a streaming TV series. Yeah, I would love for that to happen. It's that would be a dream come true, honestly. So hopefully at some point that will happen. But obviously it's hard to get these sort of things discovered by the people who make movies. You know, I do have hopefully a couple connections that I can maybe lean on a little bit, but I would love a Hollows End movie. I'll ask you guys in the chat, who would you like to see as an actor who you would like to see play Randy or the sheriff or one of the characters? Just drop the actor you'd like to see and the character that you'd like to see them play if there was a Hollows End movie. The White Stag's Forest. As an aspiring author / narrator, my question is, if I wanted to do a story where in a series I'm working on my character found himself in Hollows End, would you be okay with that? So yeah, I have allowed some people to do kind of collaborative things with Hollows End. So yeah, if you reach out to me, send me an email or something, we can chat about it. I'm usually open to that sort of thing, assuming it's not, you know, distorting the lore or the image of the town and things like that. I'm usually open to doing collaborations like that. Mastiff Nomad, are any of your stories in physical book form or are they all digital? Yeah, so I have 4 books out. I actually have two novels and then two short story collections. They're all available on Amazon. So if you search Jordan Grupe on Amazon, they should come up. Jordan Grupe author, they should all come up. The first one I wrote was called Beneath the Asylum. The second one was a short story collection called No Sleep Tonight. The third story is Escape from the Asylum, which was a follow-up to the Beneath the Asylum book. And then the final one is From the Darkness, which is my most recent short story collection. And those are all available in physical book form. For those who don't know, Beneath the Asylum, I really like that book. It's the first novel I ever wrote, and it was a series I posted on Reddit initially, and it was inspired by my time working as a security guard at a notoriously haunted asylum, which is like over 100 years old in my hometown, 150 years old, I think, or something. So it's this very, very old asylum, and it's got these tunnels underneath, this like labyrinthian underground tunnels that go like halfway across the city. So yeah, that was the inspiration for Beneath the Asylum. It's a really cool book. If you haven't checked it out, I encourage you to check it out. You can find the sneak preview of it. The first few chapters are available for free on Amazon. You can also watch it on the YouTube channel. I did do a narration of it called I'm a Security Guard in a Haunted Asylum. So you can also find it on there. But yeah, so I do have physical books, and again, they're all on Amazon. Laurel P asks, have you ever had any scary / spooky real life experiences that have inspired a story or two? Yeah, so that kind of ties in with what I was just saying about working at the haunted asylum. Basically, that did inspire that book, and there There are a few real life stories in the book that I've somewhat altered, but things that actually did happen in real life. There was one story, for instance, a coworker of mine. They were working late at night. I think it was 3 in the morning or so. The switchboard desk received a phone call, and they said, the switchboard operator said, "This is really weird. There's this phone call coming in from this wing in the building that's closed, and it's this office where there's nobody even works in there. So it doesn't make sense." But the extension, all the extensions always come up on the phone as, I think it was like 45 and then 3 numbers, and this one was coming up 45666, and so I guess he went to go look in this office where this phone call was originating from, and there was nobody in there, but he just felt a presence, and he felt a cold wind on his back, and the door slammed shut behind him, and he was left in the dark. He just bolted out of there and ran back to the switchboard desk. But yeah, definitely a very haunted building and a very spooky place to work. I still have nightmares of it. And dreams of being there. So yeah, that is one real life inspiration for sure. No Name, I'm sorry if I missed this question. What is the inspiration with your super chat? What is the inspiration of Sheriff Parsons? Sheriff Parsons, I feel like he's kind of the straight man in that comedy duo where he's kind of just like me, basically. Like he's almost like just me being in a story, and just like I feel like he's just thrown into these situations and he's just trying to do the best he can. I feel like he's kind of the representative of the reader almost, you know, like he's just as much in this mess as everybody else is, and just trying to figure out what the heck is going on. A couple more super chats here. Mastiff Nomad, $20 super chat. Thank you so much. Hugely appreciate that. Thank you so much, guys. I would love to hear you narrate Desperation by Stephen King. That's a great book. Desperation, and what was the other? Was that the one that was connected to the Regulators? I think it was. There's Desperation and the Regulators. I love both those books. Again, I have to get permission from the author. Apparently some really famous authors do allow YouTube narrations, but yeah, I'd have to like send him a message on X or something and hope that he sees it. I wouldn't want to do it without his permission, because that'd be a good way to get the channel taken down for sure. But I would love to read more popular stuff, like stuff that's been published, you know, worldwide, like, you know, bigger stories as well. That'd be cool to read more stuff like that. I also doing an audio. There'll be an audiobook coming out as well soon that I did for another author recently. I don't want to share too much until it's kind of announced, but I'll have more information about that on the channel soon. So it is something I'd like to get into more, is reading more published works, obviously with the author's permission. The White Stag's Forest, $20 super chat. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so very much for the hours upon hours of wonderful entertainment. I really appreciate that. I appreciate you watching. Thank you, The White Stag's Forest. All right, just going to go back up. I'm going to try to get through all these questions, guys. Sorry, just a second here while I try to find the... I lost my space in the questions here, sorry. Okay. James the Spectre asks, my question is, what's a story you wrote and enjoyed writing that fell short of what you expected? And on the opposite end, what is a story or series that you did not think would do good and blew up? Okay, so the one I'll start with the second question first. Though, so this is on Reddit, when I was posting on Reddit as a writer more so. There was a story I wrote. It was the first one I ever wrote that was received over 1,000 upvotes, which is a lot of upvotes for Reddit for Reddit No Sleep. It was a lot at the time for me, so I was very, very happy with that. But basically, what happened was I was on a night shift at work, and I had this idea of this room 14. And if any of you might have heard the room 14 story, it's basically just a haunted room in the hospital, and this nurse is taking a break in there, and he sees something terrifying. So that's basically what it was. I had the idea while I was at work. I came home. I wrote it in maybe half an hour after a night shift, so I was exhausted. And I just went to sleep. So I posted it on No Sleep. I went to sleep, and I woke up, and I think it had 1,000 upvotes. So it goes to show sometimes the things that you think aren't necessarily going to be well received are very well received. And I was shocked, honestly. I mean, I thought it was a good story, but I didn't realize that it would become that popular. And so yeah, that was one that definitely I wasn't expecting that. It was just kind of, it was in my mind, so I wanted to write it down, and I did, and got a really good response for it. What's the story you wrote and enjoyed writing that fell short of what you expected? So I would say the Observers series. If you guys, it's I think I titled it. My cousin worked for a quantum technology company, something like that, on the YouTube channel when I narrated it. And when I initially posted that on Reddit, I really expected a huge response. For whatever reason, I just thought it was a really cool idea for a series. And I just thought it would be really well received. And it tanked. It just didn't get the views that I thought it would. But then later on, a narrator reached out. I think Scary Juju narrated it. Ended up getting over 100,000 views on his channel, and on my channel now it's gotten, I think, over 20 or 30,000 views. So that's one that I wrote, and I thought it would do better, especially on Reddit. And it just happened to be the day when somebody else posted something that went super viral. So the other, it's very much number one, goes to the top, and everything else gets pushed down on Reddit, especially. So. And rightfully so. It was a great story, the one I was up against. So I understand why it did better. But it was a little bit disappointing for sure. Douglas. Oh, sorry, Okay, Joshua Madrano. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing. Kind of a stretch, but I guess. But any crossover plans with Gas Station Jack? That'd be cool. That'd be a really fun one to see Gas Station Jack in Hollow's End. Gas Station Jack, the author of that, Jack Townsend, is not somebody I chat with regularly. So, I mean, anything's possible. If he was interested, I would definitely be more than happy to do that. I think I've chatted with him a little bit just in comments, and like maybe sent him a message here and there on Reddit, but we're not like close or anything like that. So again, if he was interested, I would definitely be down for that. But no current plans for a crossover with Gas Station Jack, but that would be very cool. Moose HK91. What's your favorite character / creature type? That's a good question. I've mentioned before I really like hunting humans type stories. So if I was gonna break these down, two different questions: favorite character, like kind of the everyday man in like a hunting humans type story, just kind of like living his everyday life, and then he gets dropped into this sort of situation. I like characters who are in a different like a very specific profession or subculture that we don't get a glimpse into very often. Those are some of my favorite characters to read. The story on the channel recently, my coworkers and I live in fear of winning Employee of the Year. I thought that was a great one because you're just dropped into this situation, this workspace, this workplace where nobody wants to win Employee of the Year because they all know Employee of the Year gets, I don't want to ruin it for everybody, but something terrible happens to Employee of the Year every year. So, yeah, I think that's probably my favorite type of character. It's just your everyday kind of guy who's in this, in a very specific subculture or job, and you get to explore it through their eyes and see these types of things. Favorite creature type? I think body snatchers are super creepy. Skinwalkers. Those are probably top two for me. Freya Blue is the retired monster hunter is the retired monster killer turning into a love story. There is love aspects in it, which I've done as well in some of my stories. It's kind of up to the it's kind of up to the author. I wouldn't say it's turning into a love story, but there's the main character is in a romantic relationship, so it's part of their life, and they're, after work they might go see their person who they love. So to me, it's not turning into a love story, but it's just it's got that aspect of it where he has a significant other, or whatever you want to call it, which I've done in my own stories as well. X Dr. Clown asks, what's up with Spotify? So yeah, I mentioned earlier, I do have a Spotify podcast. I upload there now Saturday, Tuesday, and Thursday. And yeah, if you want to find me on Spotify, it's Jordan Group Horror on Spotify. Christopher Neely asks, Ellie the Silver King with a monkey paw in Hollow's End. Yeah, again, that would be something I'd have to talk with the author and see what they think about a crossover series. Any new bar spirit? Dennis Slothflow Strawn asks, any new bar spirit stories coming? No, that series was just the 2 parts that I did, which I put together in a compilation. So unless the author decides to do more on that series, there's that's kind of it for now for that one. They do have other series, which I've talked to them about narrating, so we might get some more of that author on the channel in the future, which would be really cool. She's super talented. Girl from the Crypt is her name on Reddit. Sorry if you guys can hear my cat eating her crunchy cat food in the background. I don't have a sound booth, so if you guys are hearing background noise, I apologize. Igor Celtic, how are you? Congrats on 60K. I appreciate that. Okay. Nancy D, will you be doing a vampire taxi driver series? That'd be cool. That's a cool idea. I like vampire stories. I haven't considered that particular angle yet, but yeah, always interested in doing another vampire story. I feel like they're pretty timeless characters / creatures, vampires. Angelique Dirksen asks, Hollow's End is the best. I'm from South Africa. Can you add names in your stories of Hollow's End? Yeah, so if you're not aware, I do include Patreon members as characters in Hollow's End. So if you join the Patreon, the $10 tier, and you stay for 3 months, I will include you in Hollow's End story as a character and who lives in the town. So if you're interested in that, check out my Patreon. That's actually been one of my favorite parts of writing Hollow's End, has been getting suggestions from people and figuring out a character for them. Saturday is here. Thank you, Saturday, for watching, for joining. Congratulations on 60K, Jordan. You'll be at 100K in no time. I really, really appreciate that. Saturday, for those of you who don't know, is the author of the Blue Sunflower stories, and he'll be featured in an interview on the new channel, Jordan Group, the Grupe project, which I announced earlier in the live stream. For anybody who's here late, just check the description below, or search in the search bar at the Grupe project, and it's GRUPE, the Grupe project, and you'll find my interview series there, which will be starting to air next Friday. And Saturday was very kind to come on and chat with me, and I had learned so much about his writing process, about the Blue Sunflower universe, and some really cool stories, and really cool chats I had with these authors. So I hope you guys will check that out. Jen Chubb asks, is there such a thing as liking puns too much? I don't think so. I love puns. I think, was it the Greeks or the Romans said puns are the highest form of comedy? No name, or SRWOTAKU. I call him No Name because that's his Patreon name. Are you going to interview Cosby Daff, the creator of Godzilla NES creepypasta? I haven't read that one, actually, so I don't know. I've kind of been reaching out to authors who I know a little bit, and who I chat with regularly, just because they're, that's who I kind of started with, to chat with, and so, yeah, you never know. Hopefully this series will go on for a long time, and I'll get to chat with a lot of different authors, and maybe that could potentially be another one. Squishy, does Randy also have allergies? By the way, Squishy, I hope you're recovering well. I hope you're doing well. Does Randy have any allergies? Also, with the amount he drinks, has he ever had a kidney stone? I feel like he definitely drinks enough to have potentially experienced a kidney stone. I don't think he has any allergies, at least that we've discovered yet. But he definitely drinks too much. I think he's starting to get a handle on it a little bit, though. Connie, so glad you mentioned Insomnia. That's one of my favorites. Me too. That's one of my absolute favorites Stephen King ever wrote. We're getting close to the end of the time, guys, so I apologize if I don't get to all of your questions. Douglas W. McGavin, Hollow's End would make a great animated series. Would you ever consider something like that? I always thought so too. Honestly, when I wrote the Delivery Man for Monsters series, I really was picturing that in my head as an animated series for whatever reason. I don't know. I just kind of pictured it as a cartoon. And when I was writing that, I felt like, yeah, this is really something. Like, this could actually be like an animated show one day. Who knows? So that would be really cool to see Hollow's End as a streaming series or as a movie. I feel like it could work as live action as well, but I also feel like an animated series would be a really cool way to represent it for sure. James Lowe, love you, bro. I'm a huge horror fan, and me and my girlfriend listen to your stories every night. She says you have a soothing voice like I do. I can't wait until you create my character in Hollow's End. Really appreciate that, James Lowe. Appreciate your support on Patreon. Ala Nawada, are you anticipating more stories in I Inherited a Shifty Little Bar from My Uncle? Yeah, somebody else asked about that as well, and I don't anticipate more stories necessarily in that series, but I would like to reach out to the author about potentially doing more of her other series, because she's a very prolific author on Reddit, and she's got a ton of great, super popular series. When I was writing on Reddit, she was one author who all the other authors knew, like, her series were gonna do well. Like, as soon as she posted the series, we all knew it was gonna kill. just because she's such a talented author, and her series especially are so great, and her characters are so good. So yeah, I would love to read more work by Girl from the Crypt in the future. That's been one of the most popular videos on the channel, is the Shifty Bar series. Uh, 628 King D. Jordan, will we ever see Silver King in Hollow's End? That's a popular question. I would love to say yes, but again, it's kind of up to the author, and I've chatted with the author about that a little bit, and I feel like and they feel as well that like the universes might be a little bit too different, and just the rules of the universes might be a little bit too different for them to mesh well. But we'll see. You never know. Zeke Winstar. So are we getting more? Are we getting new rules stories? Yeah, there should be more rules stories. I know they're very popular. I keep seeing on other creepypasta channels they're popping up more and more. I personally like them. I think they're interesting. I don't want to overdo it because I know they can be polarizing. Some people hate them. Some people love them. I personally enjoy them. I think they're if they're well written, they're really good. So, yeah, we'll see. More rule stories. I feel like yes, we'll probably get more rule stories in the future. Rosemary Fernandez, have you ever revealed your face in public? So yeah, if you look on Amazon, my author photos on the back of the book. So yeah, I was thinking about doing a webcam today, but I'll probably save that for the next one. I think we'll do a webcam live stream on the 100,000 when I do a 100,000 subscriber live stream. Saturday. Again, another comment from Saturday. I appreciate you watching, Saturday. I'm sure we can throw in a couple of sunflowers here and there. Crossovers are always fun. It's funny. Somebody actually asked if they could post some fan art on my my subreddit, and I said, yeah, absolutely. And it was a picture of a Hollow's End sign surrounded by blue sunflowers, and I was like, oh, that's interesting, because of course Saturday is the blue sunflower author, but I understand not everybody always necessarily realizes that I'm not writing all the stories. So I don't know if it was a case of that or if they just were kind of mashing up the two universes. But yeah, the blue sunflowers are definitely Saturday, and I would love to see some more blue sunflowers here and there. And crossovers are fun. Yeah, I would be thrilled for a crossover with Saturday's universe. Crystal asks, do you get overwhelmed between the writing, narrations, Patreon, and such? I'm sure it's a lot of work, but I hope you see how much everyone appreciates you. Thank you. I appreciate you saying that. It can be overwhelming a little bit sometimes. I try to not overwork myself and just, you know, I do this because I enjoy it. So for me, as long as I'm not killing myself too much with work, I'm loving what I'm doing. So, I don't feel overwhelmed very often, but every once in a while, life and just, you know, it's just life, you know, sometimes life gets overwhelming. I'm sure everybody's experienced that. But I don't get too overwhelmed with writing, with the narrations. I mean, this is, especially writing for me is like my happy place. Like I feel very relaxed and very at peace when I'm writing. So I really enjoy writing. So yeah. Mark asks, how about a love interest for Big Blue Frank? He needs love too. Yeah, you never know. We might have a big blue monster with Frank. I feel like he lives alone currently based on the descriptions of his house. But we'll see. Yeah, you never know. Nancy D asks, how do you determine which story to narrate? Thanks for the question, Nancy D. So that's a tricky one. I have a lot of stories currently kind of earmarked to read, and I always reach out to the authors first. Ask them, obviously, if it's okay if I read their stories. But a lot of the time, I go based on authors who I know and enjoy, and they have a lot of the writers who I chat with have a very big catalog of stories. So I'm very fortunate. I've made a lot of friends over the past 4 or 5 years writing on Reddit, and I feel like I made friends with really good people who have been very gracious and have allowed me to read their stuff. And yeah, I always try to read the stories that seem interesting, seem like I'm going to enjoy them, seem like you guys are going to enjoy them, and stuff that's got a satisfying ending, that's got satisfying characters. If the ending's bad, it's kind of hard for me to want to read it. I feel like a good short story's got to have a really satisfying ending. So that's something I really look for as well. Ward Boy the Third. How can I run for mayor of Hollow's End? There's you can become a Patreon member and become a citizen of Hollow's End. There's also the counselor level there, and I believe I have a mayor level as well. So you can become the mayor of Hollow's End. Greedy Puppy asks, really enjoy the Retired Monster Hunter, but Randy in Hollow's End is my favorite. One of my dogs' names is Randy. Thank you. Peekaboo, any plans on touring? Not currently. Maybe I'll do some more book signings in the future. That'd be cool. Alexandria Yancey, do you want some help with merch? I can send over some designs. That's very kind of you. If you're interested in doing that, I do have that email in the About section on the channel homepage. So if you'd like to do that, I would probably want to compensate you for your time. But yeah, send me an email. We can chat about that. I know we're over the hour, so I'll just answer a couple more quick questions here. James Tice asks, any news on the continuation of the Fire Tower series? I'm assuming you're talking about Fire Tower 1. Some unfortunate news on that is I don't think we're going to get the third part on the channel. At least not at this time. I think it's going to end up becoming published as a book. So I don't want to say too much. I might have already said too much already, but the Fire Tower 1 series, it would be cool to see it on the finale on the channel, but I have a funny feeling it may be a while if it does happen, and it may appear other places first. I'm good friends with that author, so absolutely no hard feelings about that, but I understand they got to do what's best for them and for the story, and make sure that it's got as many eyeballs as possible on it. So yeah, absolutely understand their perspective on that. But I have a funny feeling we may not see the final continuation of the Fire Tower 1 series on the channel, at least not in the near future, unfortunately. A couple people suggesting different people for Hollow's End. Steve Buscemi. Oh my god, how do you say his name? Steve Buscemi. I can't remember how to say his name. As Randy, that'd be great. Randy Samuel L. Jackson. That's an interesting choice. That would be kind of funny. I love Samuel L. Jackson. He's great in everything. I mean, I would watch that. Johnny Depp, sure. James Marsden. Is that? They said James. John Morgan says James Marsters. Is that James Marsden? For Sheriff Parsons. I've actually thought of that one too. He might be my pick for the sheriff. Dan Stevens for Jay the Monster Delivery Guy. Johnny Depp as the sheriff in Hollow's End. That'd be interesting. Johnny Depp as Randy. Dennis Quaid as the sheriff, and Steve Buscemi as Randy. Matthew Lillard as the sheriff. James Marster. Do I just not know who James Marster is? I'm thinking James Marsden, but I don't know. Maybe I need to Google that. James Marster. No, it is James Marsden. Oh, wait, no. James Marsters. Oh, this guy. Okay. Okay, so there's... Alright, so there's... different actor than I was thinking of. James Marsden, I think, would be great for the sheriff as well. I envisage Jay as Jay from Clerks. Yeah, I love... all the Kevin Smith movies are great. Jay would be funny as Jay for sure. Kevin Bacon as Randy, maybe Timothy Oliphant as the sheriff. That would be really cool. Pedro Pascal as Sheriff Parsons. That'd be fun. Randy as Johnny Knoxville. That would be amazing. Okay, we'll get a couple more questions here, and then we'll wrap up here, guys. Again, if you did miss the beginning of the live stream, there's a link in the description. I'm starting a new YouTube channel, which is I'm going to be interviewing creepypasta authors and authors who are featured on the channel. So I hope you guys will check that out. It's called the Grupe Project. So that's going to be starting to air episodes of that next week on Friday, and I'll have a channel trailer up there today. Walter Goggins as Randy, maybe. Billy Bob Thornton as Randy. Puppy Dan asks, Jordan Group Horror, how old is Randy? I picture Randy as probably in his early 30s, maybe mid 30s. Yeah, I would say that's probably about accurate. I'd say they're both probably in their mid 30s. Randy, I think Jay as well. And we should be having more information about. I don't want to say anything. I don't want to spoil anything, but we'll be finding out more about the characters in Hollow's End with the next installment. And again, Jay, the delivery guy, will be the main character of the next installment, which will be kind of the final battle against Grothrock, that returning evil from beneath the town. All right. I think I'm going to wrap this up, guys. I appreciate you all so much for coming to the live stream, for chatting with me, for asking your questions. Yeah, I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. We're getting there. We're getting close. You know, we're making our way to 100,000 subscribers. Last time I did this a live stream, we were at 20,000. Now we're at 60,000. So another 40,000, and we're going to be at 100,000 subscribers, which is completely mind-blowing. So I really appreciate you guys all for all of your support over the past few years, and for helping to make the channel what it is. I would not be doing this if it wasn't for you guys. You make this satisfying. You guys make this what it is. So thank you guys from the bottom of my heart for watching, for subscribing, for being part of the channel. And yeah, let's do this again at 100,000 subscribers, okay? Thanks, everybody. I'll see you next time.